What are some of the easiest ways to spot demons in people, would you say?
Instantly healed. I have never seen anything like it. Like healed of depression, healed of bipolar, healed of anxiety, healed all of it gone. This is all occultic witchcraft, human sacrifice. That's what this is about.
That's one of the other theories, that the Greek gods were actually the Nephilim, right?
Gods are real. Those gods are fallen angels, but they're real. Statue of Liberty has a chain on its ankle, by the way, but it's broken because the Statue of Liberty represents Satan being released. We are past that. We are in chapter 20, Revelation 20, where Satan was led out to deceive the entire nation. That's where we're at.
Something that's always blown my mind was this. Currently, 95% of people aren't subscribed. Realistically, we're still starting our journey. But if you like what we're doing and you want to see more, the easiest way for you guys to support us would be to subscribe to the channel down below. Our promise to you is to keep upping our content with bigger guests and better talks. Anyways, hope you enjoy the show.
I'm excited to talk about all kinds of crazy things. We'll see how crazy it goes, you know?
Yeah, this is it. This is it. Well, to be honest, like, so you being an exorcist, I didn't actually think these people existed outside of the cinema. So how did you get into this?
You know, I didn't really think they existed either, to be completely honest. It wasn't something that I just was like, you know, like the Lord brought me into this. It wasn't something that, you know, I was like, I'm going to study this. I studied demonology as a child because I saw a demon in my bedroom when I was a kid once. Scared me super bad. It was like a little black shadow thing. You ever seen the black shadow things as a child or no? Never saw them?
It's one of them things where, like, sometimes I feel like I did, but maybe I've either repressed it, maybe I just put it down to my imagination. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people see these black shadow beings that appear in the room as children. Same thing with like astral projection experiences or like sleep paralysis. A lot of people have that kind of stuff. And I had sleep paralysis quite a few times. And I had seen this black shadow thing that was a person. Terrified me, made me think, okay, there's more to life than just our existence. I didn't grow up in like a Christian household. I just grew up in a normal stereotypical household that was non-religious. But then, you know, started studying religion on my own since I was a child, tried to figure out what the black shadow things were. They told me it was demons. I was like, that's dumb. I'm like, you're telling me demons are bad? And I'm like I would have never gone to church had I never seen this thing. Like, I made my parents go to church with me, like drag my mom to church just because I was like trying to figure out what the shadow thing is. But I just did that. And then, you know, eventually I didn't get enough answers that I wanted. So I started studying stuff on my own. And then I started reading other texts and I was like, I need to know more about the demons. So I started studying demonology since I was a child. And like pretty much my whole life, I studied demonology. I studied Nephilim. I studied fallen angels. I tried to figure out where the demons came from because I was fascinated in all of that. So I was in like a religious realm, but I wasn't like hyper souled. I was a Christian, like most people, Christian, you know, but like I never drank a drop of alcohol. I don't know why. My spirit just told me not to. Something inside me was like, no. And I've never done a drug and I've never smoked a cigarette. Again, it was just something inside me said, don't do that. You know, and I studied like the occult and I studied witchcraft, but I never did witchcraft, but I studied it to understand it. And, it was probably not something that people should be reading into or looking into, honestly, but I did this my whole life. And then eventually, I became like hedonistic and worldly and was polyamorous and had multiple girlfriends and lived a lifestyle for like 7 years. I had like 2 girlfriends and it was like, that was my lifestyle. And, you know, I still never drank. But I never did drugs, but I was just like in Burning Man communities and the very, very worldly space. Cause I just was like, I'm just going to live my life, whatever. David had multiple wives. Why can't I have multiple girlfriends? It was like, that was my thought process in some regard. I don't know. But then the Lord slapped me real hard and woke me up when one of my girlfriends got demonically possessed and I didn't think it was real. Like, and then I was like, this is not what I thought like it was. And like she thought she had bipolar. She thought she was like imagining things or like feeling like her behaviors were like switching and she would have like these body spasm things that were just like really unusual. And I'm like, dude, I've known you for like 5 years. Like this is like not normal stuff that I'm seeing right now. Like what the heck is going on? Like this seems demonic. Like this seems like the stuff I read. But she had been reading some of my occult stuff, like the occult books and things that I was studying. And so like demons don't just possess you. because you've looked at some sigil. They possess specific people if you've done things that are going against your conscience when you do them in violation of your own spirit. So like, you know what's right and wrong. It's already in you. Like the Holy Spirit's already in you. He's already put there the things that were right and wrong inside of you. And so you don't need some text to tell you what is right and wrong. That's what Jesus came for. That's what the Bible's about. That's why Jeremiah 31 through 34 talks about. It says, I will put my commandments in their minds and I will write them upon their hearts. That's what the Bible actually says, but Christians miss this part of the message. And they want to go around saying like, oh, you need to invite Jesus in your heart and blah, blah, blah. And they want to like try to press you, but they don't, they miss the truth, which is love and compassion, and that Jesus already paid the price. There's already forgiveness for us. He's already in us. And like the Holy Spirit's already in us, moving us to compassion. It's the reason why you felt compassion. It's the reason why you're mentioning Charlie Kirk, why you felt the sadness, bro. That's God. You felt God's heart in that moment. Like if you felt Charlie Kirk, if you felt sad when Charlie Kirk was shot, that was the heart of the Lord. That means the Holy Spirit's already in you. That means God's already in you, because you didn't even know the guy. You don't know the guy from anybody, but like you felt it. And it was profound enough that it affected your whole body. That was a spiritual wake. That was the Holy Spirit moving throughout all of humanity. And it's like, dude, we know that's wrong. We know something's wrong there. We don't necessarily know what, but our spirit can feel the sadness and the wrongness there, right? And it's pretty crazy that we can all collectively feel something like that when we don't even know a guy. Like that's a spiritual thing. That was a very spiritual thing. It was a sacrifice. He was sacrificed, which is terrible. But yeah, you know, I mean, so Christians miss this and they want to like oppress you with rules and regulation and all this stuff. But Jesus said, I came not to fulfill the law, or not to, but to abolish it, not to abolish it, but to fulfill it. So when he said fulfill it, it means it's done. So the law is done. So all the Christians that are like, oh, you can't do this. If you're a Christian, you can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, it's like that mindset is putting people back under the law. And this is what they miss with Christianity. They're trying to oppress you again, back under the law, which Jesus came to like do away with. Like the law now is written on your heart. There is a law that we're all held to, and it's within us. It's what's in our heart, you know, and it's the love that Jesus said, love your Lord, your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Everything else will fall under these two things if you would do that, Jesus said. And so like, that's the important part. But what happens is religions come in, they creep in, and they try to law abide or religiousize the truth, and they pervert it. And that's what all religions are. So all religions, by the way, side note, are all perversions of the truth, which is what Jesus said. Okay. And so like Catholicism, again, perversion of the truth. Like Protestantism, perversion of the truth. Like even Christianity, It's like all about end times and all that. It's just a perversion of the truth. Like the truth is Christ is in us because he paid the price. He brought forgiveness. He loves us. And like what we need to do is abide by the law that is written on our heart and on our minds. I don't need to tell you what is right and wrong. Like you already know. Like, bro, when you were a child, you probably remember the first time you stole something. You probably remember it. You probably remember the first time you looked at porn. You probably remember it. Probably remember the first time you lied. Some people do, not everybody. Some people remember the first time they lied. You remember these things because that was the first time you sinned. That was because that was when your heart did something. You went against your conscience. You violated what you knew was right and wrong. That's the first time you sinned. Right then, bro. And when you did that, that was what rips you from your spirit. That's what tears you away from this connection that you have with God, because we do these things that dirty our soul, and it dirties our mind, and it dirties our spirit, and we can't hear clearly in the spirit, you know? And so we walk around life living this mindset, living this way with these dirty spirits. And we don't know we can't even tell. Eventually you get so numb to doing these things wrong and bad, you can't even tell what's right and wrong anymore. You can't even tell the difference. And it says God will turn you over to the error of your ways if you continue in these sins. That's what's happened to everybody. And that's why Jesus talks about being born again. He talks about being born again. It means to become like a child again. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to go into your womb, he says. So to be born again means to become like a child. What do children do? Like if you have a child around and a child sees somebody do something bad, what does the child do? Bad. Look at they are doing bad, right? That's what the children do because they're like a child. That's why Jesus says you have to become like a child to enter in the kingdom of heaven. That's what he means. Do you understand? Yeah. Like he literally is saying your innocence. Return back. Yeah. It says we must become innocent as doves. We have to become innocent. We have to walk. It says, be innocent as doves. It literally says, You have to return to your innocence. That's what it means to be born again. To be born again, like Christians can't explain that. Ask a Christian what it means to be born again. They're like, oh, raise your hand and let Jesus come into your heart. What is that? What is that nonsense? Where'd you get that? Huh? Yeah. The Bible, you know what it says? It says those who believe in their heart and confess with their mouth that Jesus is Lord. So where does it say those who raise their hand and say Jesus is Lord is going to work? Bro, just because you said Jesus is Lord, you know what the Bible says? Many will call me Lord, Lord, and I will say, turn away, I never knew you. That's what the Bible says. It says, on that day, many will call me Lord, Lord, and I will say, turn away, wicked and unfaithful servant, you who practice lawlessness, I never knew you. That's what it says. So all the people that are like, oh, Jesus is my Lord. Well, guess what? It says many will call me Lord. It doesn't look like that you're doing what the Lord says. So like you're supposed to, as a Christian, walk in unity and love and peace. Okay. Not condemnation. You're supposed to do the works of my Father, which is the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. You're supposed to exuberate these things. But a lot of Christians, they don't have any of that. You know, and then you know what they tell you in church? They tell you, oh, being a good person is not going to get you to heaven, brother. Well, guess what? Being a bad person is definitely going to keep you out. I'm going to tell you that right now. It don't matter what you think. No matter that you think, oh, well, I know the secret. God's going to let the criminal into heaven. So that means me, even though I'm a corrupt, wicked person that rips people off. You think you're going to heaven, bro? No. Now you need to rethink. You need to rethink. Like just because you said you raised your hand and said, oh, Jesus come into my heart. Well, that's not the truth, bro. You know what the truth is? It says those that believe in their heart and confess with their mouth. What good is it if you confess with your mouth and you don't even believe? So all those idiots at church that are like, raise your hand and I'll count and say this prayer after me. Bro, that's not what the Bible teaches. There's nothing to say. You'll confess with your mouth. Yeah, it says tons of people will say, Lord, Lord, and confess with their mouth that Jesus is Lord. It says, but Jesus says, those who do the will of my Father who is in heaven, those are the Christians. That's what it says. So Christianity has been hijacked by this nonsense. And you see this nonsense supporting Israel nonsense. Disgusting, perverted wickedness. They're over there murdering children, and Christians are so blind and spiritually dead. They can't even feel it. They can't even feel it.
Yeah.
They have no clue. They follow rules. They follow all this stuff, all this nonsense. Same thing with Catholicism. Sorry. Anyways.
No, I get it. I mean, like a real clear example of that is when, I've seen the Israeli flag within the churches.
Disgusting. That's an occult sigil.
Right.
That's a demonic sigil.
The Star of David, right?
Yeah, it's the Star of Remphan, actually, in the Bible. It's mentioned.
What is Remphan?
Remphan's a demon. It's like literally a demon. It's like talked about the Star of Remphan. Just Google Star of Remphan in the Bible. It's literally, it says Israel picked up their Star of Remphan and went against the Lord. And you're like, oh, well, that's not, that's the only star it's mentioned. And stars are synonymous with angels. It's the term star, but it's fallen angel. It's where we get falling star. So like this terminology is connected to this, like fallen angel, fallen star. This is what this is. So it's like that star is the sigil of Satan on that stupid little Israeli flag. And so like they put it up that's because they get so caught up. People are missing the truth right now. People are missing it. The spiritual awakeness that is the Spirit of God is flowing through people right now. And people are totally missing it because they're getting caught up in things like Catholicism or Judaism or whatever Protestantism thing. Like they just want to get caught up in this thing where they think if I follow the rules, if I follow these rules, if I do these traditions, this is the truth. Okay, I'm going to follow this religion because it's really, really old. And this is the one that seems most stable. Bro, if you follow it with just because of the age, bro, you're missing the truth. Like it's all of them have been distorted. All religions are corrupt. All of them. All of them are corruptions. And they're all corruptions of Christianity. They're really corruptions of what Jesus taught. All of them. That's why Buddhism reflects Christianity. Buddhism is hijacked. It's a hijacking of Christianity. Taoism is a hijacking of Christianity. I could go through all the principles of Taoism and Buddhism, and it lines up with Christianity, with things that Jesus said. It's directly from it. Hinduism today is a perversion of Christianity. It was a little bit older, but there was a little bit of mix of it. But Sikhism is 100% Christianity perversion. And I talk about this on my channel. I explain why these religions are all distortions of Christianity.
So, I mean, that's a good point. Oh, and another thing before we move on. I mean, we'll probably come back to it, but this whole line, which I keep hearing all the politicians say, you know, bless Israel and I'll be blessed. So
Nonsense.
one, it sounds like they're self-serving anyway, which is kind of completely missing the point of Christ. Yeah. And then I don't think this line is even in the Bible to begin with, right?
No. There's Genesis. It says, bless Abraham and you will be blessed, like the descendants of Abraham. So that was a promise to Abraham before Israel even existed. Okay. That was a promise to Abraham. Okay. And then in Numbers, there's one that says those who bless Israel will be blessed, but it wasn't a forever thing. It was just in that moment or whatever. And regardless, we are the new Israel. The Christians are the new Israel. If you just read the New Testament, there's 1,000 examples I could pull up. Not 1,000. There's at least like a few. There's like 50 examples I could pull up where it clearly says Christians are the new Israel. Christians, believers in Christ, are the new Judah. It says it over and over throughout the New Testament. Anybody that says, bless Israel or you'll be blessed, has not read the New Testament, or they just have no grasp of it when they read it. And they're just like completely oblivious and blind, because it is so obvious that Israel, it literally says in the text in the Bible, it says, those that are just genetic descendants of Israel are not Israel. It says that. Did you know that? It says it straight up. And so like people are like, oh, bless Israel. But this is a deception from the devil designed to pervert Christianity, because Christianity is the closest. Here's the thing. All these religions are distorted, but Christianity is the closest to the truth. It's the closest one to recognizing Jesus Christ as Lord, and recognizing that we're flawed, and recognizing that he's our forgiveness and he's brought it. But here's the problem. Christianity ethically is so distorted and perverted. It's just beyond the point of like, it's beyond gone. So it's like Muslims have really good, they actually are very much more Christian than most Christians. Okay. But then they don't accept the authority of Christ, of the forgiveness. So it's like every religion has their thing, but then their but. Okay. Their thing and then their but. And it's like the but is the problem with all of it. And all the other religions don't accept Christ fully as Lord, or they have these distortionistic views of Christ. And it's like Christianity, however, seems to have at least the right view of Christ to the most part. But, you know, there's obviously sects of Christianity that are totally perverted as well. And all of this stuff is all, you know, but they miss the principle of Christ, which is to live a good life and to love one another. And they don't do that. And so it's like, what good is it that you know the truth, but you don't honor Christ's examples of loving people? What good is it? What good is it to you? Nothing. It's good for nothing. That's what it's good. So,
I mean, that was always the thing that like I really couldn't get my head around, because if you are a Christian, then you believe the only way, the path to salvation is through Jesus Christ. Modern Judaism completely rejects Christ as any savior. In fact, they despise him because he was the person who split the original Jews up, right? So like, how can you rectify that these are going to get blessed and they'll bless you? I don't know.
Nonsense. It's just demonic nonsense, because Satan hijacked Christianity through that practice right there, through Judaism. Satan hijacked every other religion's been hijacked by Satan. And then like Catholicism is so dead, and so is the Orthodoxy. They're just dead religions that are they have no authority of Christ. They don't understand. They worship idols. They kiss idols. They don't not understand idolatry, what it is, what remotely it even resembles. Christ is in us. He's not in objects. God is not a fan of objects. And they're over there like kissing idols. They're no different than pagans, like the pagan worship. Bro, I deal with Satanists. You know what Satans need? You know what Satanists do? They all have to make little idols or statues to conjure demons before they do it. It's like identical to what the Catholics do. Yeah. Like, bro, it's identical. And they light candles with all the little images of them because they do flame reading and all kinds of like demonic stuff to like speak to spirits. Bro, it is all completely demonic. So demonic. And it's like, but they don't recognize that demonic thing. And because they're blind to the reality of truth, they don't understand that Christ is in us and he operates in love through us. They are operating in what's called legalism. And that's why Jesus said, I came to not to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. When something's fulfilled, it's done. That means legalism's done. Stop trying to put yourself under a law again. In fact, the Bible says those that put themselves under the law that don't keep it all are accursed. So guess what? You try to follow law, you're cursed. That's what the Bible says.
Okay, so I do want to come back to religion, but just to go to this whole exorcism thing, how long have you been doing this, would you say?
You know, I don't know, it's like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I don't know at this point. I forgot. I'm really bad with time. Like somewhere in there, 4 or 5 years or something at this time.
Right. Okay. And I'm guessing you must be able to spot who's possessed and who isn't. Like, is this something which really isn't that like happens every once in a while, or is this something that's actually really common today?
Oh, it's like in 99% of people have demons. Yeah. Like yeah, for reals. So like, I mean, like when I was in my worldly state, when I started seeing my ex-girlfriend getting demonically possessed, I was like, there's something not right here. Like, what is going on? Started having behavior. So like if somebody refers to themselves as a they, them, oh, you're demonized 100%. You have a demon controlling you. That's how the demons talk. They say us, we, they, them. That's how they are referring. So anybody that's with a they, them in their word, you've got demons, like guarantee you. Like the anybody that's talking, like, you know, if you have anxiety all the time, like probably demons. Like if you have depression, demons. Okay. If you have fears, demons. If you have night terrors at night, demons. If you have like, bro, demons are in everything and everybody, affecting everybody all the time. And so like, dude, demons affect like 99% of people. Like literally, like it's very rare that I come across somebody and they don't have some kind of demon attached to them doing something to affect them. Those negative thoughts that pop in your head, demons. If you have ever negative thoughts that are like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm worthy. Yeah, it's demons talking to you, bro. You're listening to demons. You just don't recognize it. You think it's your own voice. You just don't. Wow. You just can't tell. It ain't your own voice. It's demons. So that's like, yeah, that's literally how it works, and it's affecting all the people around us, like everywhere. You know, and God woke me up when I saw it in my ex, and I just prayed and I was like, Lord, help. Like we didn't know what to do because she was like, yeah, I don't know what this is. This is unusual. It's not normal behavior. And just prayed help. And dude, God took me on this crazy story. I burned all my idols and my video game stuff. Like, and then all of a sudden the next day, this random dude shows up at my door and he was like, hi, I'm like here to meet you. And I'm like, meet me. I'm like, who are you, weird guy? I don't know who you are. And then like, he was like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he like avoided the question. I was like, dude, so what do? You do work? You do like, do you have a business? Cause he showed up at my business. I was like, nope. You know, do you need stickers? You need design work? You need marketing? Nope. I'm like, finally I pulled the guy aside. I'm like, listen, weird guy, I'm about to kick you out of my building. I don't know who you are. You're kind of freaking me out. You don't have a business. You don't need design work. You don't need stickers. Like, what do you do? And he goes, I do miracles. And he goes, and I teach people how to cast out demons. And he goes, and how to heal people. And he goes, and I'm pretty sure God told me to come here today. I'm not even joking, probably the craziest experience I've ever had, dude. When he said that, my jaw just was like dropped. I'm like, what? Like I literally just prayed. I just prayed the day before and had this experience or whatever. The Lord help like with the situation. Bro shows up at my door, prays for my ex, instantly healed. I have never seen anything like it. Like healed of depression, healed of bipolar, healed of anxiety, healed all of it gone. Wow. Like dude just prayed and it was so phenomenal. I was like, bro, you have to teach me. And he was like, no. he's like, I'm not going to train you. He's like, your heart is wrong. He's like, your heart is wicked. Go away. I'm not going to train you. I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh. Like, bro, like, it's like God sent you to me. What do you mean you're not going to train me? You have to train me. I burned all my stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and he was like, no, not going to do it. Your heart needs to change. And so like, eventually the Lord had a circumstance. I have this story posted on my channel on YouTube. So if you guys go on YouTube, you can find the story full detail. But the dude ended up eventually begrudgingly training me because the Lord told him to. And like, I've just been casting out demons ever since and praying for people and healing people and seeing miracles and all kinds of stuff, dude. It's wild, man. This is like, I don't know. Honestly, like, I don't know how Christians are like, I'm a Christian and I don't sin and I don't go and I don't do anything bad and I don't look at porn and I don't do this. I'm like, how do you, like, before I was like, how's that even like a thing? But now, like, dude, I definitely don't understand how people can do that and not be like, bro, if I didn't know that I have to go like cast some demons out of somebody like tomorrow, like, I don't know how it would be hard for me to like stay so pure or walk in righteousness. Like I have to, because I know there's like a weight on me, bro. there's like a weight that like if I mess up, like it's these other people might suffer from my mistake. So like I have this, it's like I have to be walking in a form of righteousness to be able to hear from the Lord. Like
right, right. So if
that's
you're
how it works.
self-serving, it just goes away.
Yeah. And so like you can't like, so I don't get how some Christians are like, I'm a Christian. If you don't cast out demons, like, bro, life is boring. Like, you know, like, dude, my life is nuts, dude. Like I like the amount of things I've experienced and seen is just like crazy stuff.
What is some of the craziest stories that you can share, I guess?
Dude, I mean, there's so many like insane things. I mean, I could just think of stuff this week. I could probably think of things. I've cast out a demon that was speaking through a dude that was like telling me stuff about someone else. It was like speaking like prophesying thing, like it knew stuff. Like I could just say like, dude, I cast a demon of Tourette's off of a kid. And I still have Tourette's, which is even crazier because I still subtly have this, but like I was able to heal somebody that had Tourette's syndrome. Totally not me. It's the Lord. Obviously I'm not the ones doing it. So it's like, of course people send it to me and then dude, and then that kid just gets perfect score. The whole school's like, what the heck did you do to your child? The whole school's like, there's no way. They're like, what drugs did you put him on? They want to know what drugs they put the kid on. It's like, their mom was like, well, we brought him to get prayed for and the demons left. Like she didn't even know what to tell the teachers, which is hilarious. Like, you know, I just pray and I've seen all kinds of stuff at this point. Like I've seen so many different things that like, dude, I've had demons try to attack me. I've had so many, like, dude, I had one demon that I wasn't totally in perfect righteousness and standing and I was off a little bit and demon was able to affect me. He was able to smash my car window, which he just possessed some homeless guy. Came up to my window, smashed my car window, took a dump and smeared poop on my car, bro. And then left a statue of Anubis, which by the way, I just cast the demon of Anubis out of somebody, left an Anubis statue at my front door. So like, yeah, I deal with stuff that's like, bro, I don't even want to talk about honestly, some of the crazy stuff. I don't want to give glory to demons, but yeah, they can do stuff.
Sure. Damn. Okay.
I've met a lot of demons. Anubis is a demon, by the way. He's not the god of underworld. He is straight a demon. I know him very well at this point.
Oh shit. But like you would only see a physical body, right? You wouldn't see like the spiritual side of the
I don't see in the spirit. I can hear in the spirit though. So there's some people that have different spiritual gifts. I have what's called discernment of spirits. It's a biblical gift. And so I can discern if there is a demonic spirit in a person. And to the extent that I can hear them talking sometimes in the spiritual realm. I can hear the spirits talking in my mind, in a sense. They speak like that. I know it sounds crazy, but like when I pray for people, they'll say stuff about the person and it's like, whoa, how did that? I don't even know. I don't know if this is true. I'm going to tell you what I just heard. And they're usually like, oh my gosh, what? well, it's a demon. So, you know, demons, they talk all the time. People just don't recognize it. They think it's their own voice talking to themselves. And when you're walking in a level of righteousness, you're sensitive to the spirit. And so you can be sensitive to the spirit and you can hear things better. That's usually how it goes. And so like hearing in the spirit is a gift. There's people that I have friends that see in the spirit and they pray with me and they do stuff. And we kind of work together as like the body of Christ because we have those that can see in the spirit. We have others that can hear in the spirit. We have others that can feel in the spirit. We have others that know in the spirit. So like there's different spiritual gifts and you have to work as the body of Christ when you're doing these kind of things. Because like if you just go by yourself, it's like you could get deceived. You don't know what you're dealing with. Like maybe it's tricking you. Maybe it's lying to you. So usually we have somebody that can hear in the spirit and see in the spirit or together or whatever, you know? And so when we pray, we try to like tackle the situations from multiple situations spiritually, but that's not like, I don't know. That's not like the biggest focus of it. Like a lot of the focus is more on like the person's healing, you know, and that like more on like the trauma that allowed the demon to enter into them because people go through trauma and demons get entry into them and it like affects their life. And so we pray, cast the demon out, demon like leaves the person, people will throw up. It's wild, dude. It's really wild. Like it's crazy. People like throw up a lot of times. They'll have like sweat, body shakes and all kinds of stuff. And then the demon leaves, the person's like, oh my gosh, I feel like so much better. And like instantly like they get healed. It's pretty cool. You burping?
Wow. Yeah, sorry.
That's normal actually. It's how demons leave. So usually when I talk to people, they'll start burping or they'll start coughing or choking. That's a pretty common thing.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. What are some beyond burping?
That's where the term
what,
bless you comes from, by the way. When people say bless you, they believe the demon left them really fast. Ironically, I've never seen anybody sneeze a demon out, but they do burp them out. That's like the most common. Burping, coughing, choking, sneezing is not as much, but anyways.
Hey, never say never, right?
Yeah.
And like what are some of the easiest ways to spot demons in people, would you say?
I wouldn't say that it's necessary to even spot demons in other people. What you need to do is spot demons in yourself. So like if you have negative thoughts coming into your head all the time, telling you things that are terrible, well, who's hearing those thoughts? You are hearing those thoughts. So if you're hearing those thoughts, then what's speaking those thoughts? You're not talking to yourself. Something else is talking to you. Like we are spiritual decision makers. Okay. And there's just like an angel and the little devil analogy. Like they're sitting there on your shoulder. There's demons speaking to you. And the good ideas are usually ideas from the Lord. So if you think you're having good ideas for doing good things for people, a lot of times it's the Lord guiding you. You're just the one deciding to listen to it. Like like every good and perfect gift comes from him, the Bible says. So like if you're doing good things, it's because you're listening to God. Like that's the Lord in you. Because you're a decision maker. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing too. I mean, a lot of people are quick to point fingers and like trying to eradicate evil, but it's all external without even willing to look at anything internal, right?
Bro, if the whole world would just simply love their children, which by the way, that's serving God. Just a side note, you are serving the Lord when you love your children and raise them right. If the whole world would just love their children and raise their children for like 2 generations, I think the entire world would be like fixed if we would just properly love their children. Because I mean, all the people that are wicked in the world, like it all stems back to like, parental like rejection and hurt, like almost every time.
How do you feel about like discipline? Because there must be a line between like, okay, your kid's acting up. There needs to be a way to teach them how to properly behave, but doing it still in a loving way. Like what is the line kind of thing?
I mean, not disciplining with anger, but you can discipline. Like spanking, I think would probably be appropriate. Like I don't have children, so I don't know, but like I'll get that across that bridge. But I would say that like you should definitely. I think you could spank your child, and there's a reason for it. I don't know if it applies to guys and girls the same. And this is actually a big problem because women are raising children, boys, and they don't understand how boys work. But men, we do not understand things without pain sometimes. Okay, but you can't, like, that's our logic. Brain is only registers with pain. This is why you see police officers being violent, because they know that whatever that perpetrator is, if you just put them in timeout, that perpetrator is not going to learn the lesson. And so men naturally will become, police officers will naturally want to inflict pain as part of the arrest, because they know that would be more of a deterrent to a person than just getting arrested. Because getting arrested does nothing to us as men. Like, arrest us, so what? But if you arrest us and you punch us in the jaw and then you like punch us in the stomach, like then we're going to maybe be like, okay, maybe I don't want to get arrested again. That wasn't very fun. You know what I mean? Like, so pain is a good teacher. And like, that's why you see, but our world doesn't teach pain to boys anymore. We've been told to be pushy and marshmallowy and lovey. Like, I don't know if girls need to necessarily have as much pain dealt in their life. You can discipline a girl probably without pain, but men, we don't learn without pain in a lot of ways. So like all the girls are going to complain and be like, no, it's terrible. Well, you're a girl, so shut up. It's not the same thing. Like, it's not the same thing. As a man, we don't understand without physical like aggression. Like, we need to have aggression to learn from it. And we need to learn to be not aggressive, and we respect aggression. So like, you got to discipline a boy, I think, differently than you discipline girls. Like, I think that we would absolutely need to be spanked, and I think, that's not trauma. That's just teaching, children to be in right standing. But the reality is there's abuse, obviously, but that's when somebody's like hurting somebody out of anger and frustration, which is what women do a lot of times, especially when they're single mothers, they get so explosively angry that they want to just hit their kid out of anger. That's not discipline. That's trauma. That's lashing out. That's evil. That's wickedness. Okay. You go, hey, listen, if you disobey me one more time, when we get back, I'm going to spank you. And you do it very calmly. And you give them a time frame. You go, now's your time. The punishment has now come. Just like God says the punishment comes at the end. You give the punishment at the end of the day. And you go, that's when your punishment is. You, okay, misbehave again. I'm going to spank you twice at the end of the day. It's not done out of hate. It's done out of love. It's done out of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. I mean, but like, yeah, there's abuse and trauma creates responses in people. And most of society is traumatized at this point. It's terrible. But hitting your child out of aggression or anger is definitely traumatizing. So women do that a lot.
Yeah,
I've noticed. Yeah, and it's pretty
well,
terrible.
I mean, there's a bunch of things, isn't it? Like this idea of equality, I do think is hurting us. It's killing us, really, because we are different. Men and women are different. And like that shouldn't be controversial to say.
No.
And, I was raised by my mum, and especially as you become a teenager, you were just like hormones are through the roof. You're naturally angry. Women, my mum especially, but I've noticed this, but women will try and match that. And if you're trying to match that with a teenage boy, it's just such a risky game to play.
Oh yeah.
And like,
did your mom kind of lash out and hit you?
No, she'd never hit me. She'd never hit me. But like, I know in my own head, like I'm thinking like, why are you trying to challenge me? Like this is only going to go one way. And like, obviously I was responsible enough not to do anything, but it's like, why are you playing that game? And just even having the father figure there, young boys naturally respect the father. And there is an element of fear, because
of course. This guy keep beating me up.
Yeah, exactly. So it keeps you in line. And even in the police force, right? You're saying about inflicting pain. When women are in the police force too, they're more likely to fire their firearm because they can't like engage physically, right? So there's just like there is benefits to like masculinity handled the right way, like you say.
Oh yeah. I remember my mom tried to spank me once, and because my dad wasn't around to spank me at that moment. And I laughed. I just laughed at her when she tried to spank me. I was like, really? Like that's what it was? She got her so mad. But I was just like, bro, you're weak. You're so weak. It's pathetic.
Oh dear. So she starts going to town on you or something?
No, she just couldn't do anything because she was just too weak. I was like, okay, well. She tried to hit again, and I was like, that's all you got? I was like, dang, this is funny.
Nice. Point for trying.
Yeah.
So I'm in Thailand right now, right? And I cannot tell you how many they're like spiritual healers, gurus, and they say all of this stuff. They say they're enlightened, but they're also the same people that will be using like tarot cards, crystals. Is all of that demonic, or is there any
100%?
Good to it, would you say?
100% demonic. Yeah, like they're all demon possessed. Like I dude, it's so demonic over there. I went to Thailand. I was there for a while when I was like a long time ago. I went there and it was like hedonistic time or whatever. But like it was still, I could still feel the demonic spiritual presence in some of those healer kind of places. And like, dude, they're like doing tantric yogas and all the yoga stuff that they're doing there. It's all just like they're trying to take advantage of the women there, and it's like, dude, it's like perverse. That's like it's literally what it is. Like there's a Hindu form of yoga where they believe they can achieve enlightenment through sex magic. Do you know this? I don't know if you know this.
No.
Yeah, this is what a lot of it is. And it's like,
like tantric, is it?
Yeah, tantric stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's like and that's ultimately what they try to lead people to. So it's all just highly sexualized environment.
Self-serving.
Yeah. And it's all just a bunch of wickedness, dude. And it's all satanic. Nobody's enlightened. They're over there using tarot cards. They're freaking talking to demons. And like, bro, they'll get demons. They'll wake up eventually if the demons don't kill them or do something worse. But yeah, I know somebody that did a lot of that, and she went blind from it. The demon ended up blinding her in the end.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and she lost her. And actually, it's crazy. She wasn't the only one. I know two people that were both yoga instructors. They both got this really rare sickness where their sight was going away. They were going blind, and they were losing bodily function. They couldn't move their bodies. and they couldn't like they were like getting weaker and weaker, and their body was like just not able to function. Both were yoga instructors, both of them.
Wow.
So pretty crazy.
That is crazy, because I would think, like, if you are, going that way, that actually they reward you for being a part of the club kind of thing.
Yeah, well, they both were coming to the understanding of Christ at the end of their lives and their situations, and they both were coming to that understanding. And it was like the demons were like, "Oh, well, screw this, pull the plug. This chick is gonna figure out Jesus is the truth. We're done with this one."
Right.
And they were like, "Okay."
Well, what do you think? Like, what are some of the most common ways people are possessed nowadays without even realizing it?
Listening to music. If you listen to music, you've got demons. If you listen to music, if you're watching movies, if you're watching the movies that they're putting out, you're going to concerts. Oh my gosh, if you're going to concerts, you definitely got some demons. Like those concerts, bro, those are satanic rituals at this point. Like most of them, when you go there, those are satanic conjuring rituals that are putting spirits into people. If you're going to like yoga classes, like, bro, you're doing like Kundalini awakenings or like all that stuff, bro. You don't even know what you're doing. You're literally evoking spirits and you're putting them into you. Dude, there's so many.
I am surrounded by these people too.
Yeah, you're probably surrounded by demons, bro. Like for reals. And it's like, that's all of it. It's so demonic, but people don't recognize it because they're all hurt and broken and traumatized and lost and confused. And it's like, they're just looking for some place of peace. And if you feed the demon what it wants, the demon will leave you alone to some degree. So it's like, they're getting relief by giving their demon what it wants. It's like feed the demon and he'll leave you alone. Same thing with smoking cigarettes, bro. Like you smoke cigarettes, like, bro, you're feeding the demon. You give it its burned offering that it wants and it will leave you alone. And then you stop giving it its burned offering. And then it's like anxiety, stress, frustration, fear. Give me my another offering, human. Burn me another one, fool. Burn me another. And you have to go light up another cigarette. You're burning offerings to demons. You just don't recognize that that's what you're doing.
Wow.
That's same. I mean, have you seen what the cigarette packs look like?
No.
Maybe I have it on my desktop. I think I have it. Bro, dude, let me see if it's right here. Well, a lot of the cigarettes, there's two things. It's called cigarettes and ziggurats. You know what a ziggurat is?
No, I've heard it, but what is that?
A ziggurat is a pyramid. It's a step pyramid where they were sacrificing humans. What do you think all those yoga people, they all have like pyramids? You notice that pattern?
Yeah.
Pyramids are human sacrificial points. So are ziggurats. That's where they were killing the humans.
Pyramids is a weird one, isn't it? Because they are literally scattered everywhere around the world.
Well, yeah, they were towers of Babel is what they were. Do you know what the Tower of Babel is?
This is it's like people in their own arrogance, they thought they could reach God, right?
Yep. And that's literally what those were. The Tower of Babels. Hold on, let me just email this.
I got a question actually. So the day you burn all your stuff and the day that this random guy turns up, what if he was demon possessed? Obviously, you're completely fresh to this. You could like that.
What if he was demon possessed?
Yeah, and so he could like lead you astray. How would you know?
I mean, if you hear my whole story, my whole testimony of the dude showing up, it was the day after I prayed to the Lord help. If you hear my whole testimony online, it's pretty phenomenal, like exactly what happened. And God spoke to me through Bible verses. It was very clear that, and in the freedom that he got, that he gave was so like undeniable. At a certain point, it was just like, there's no way this is even like real. Like this is insane. So yeah, I would say that like it's that's silly to me now because I know the difference and I know what it is to actually be free at this point. But yeah, it's not a thing I would be tripping about. But check this out. So let's look here. Skull. Okay. That's what they put in that's at the base of the pyramids. Skull. Parliament pyramid, black. pyramid. Kingston, pyramid. Kingston, another pyramid coming at you. Pyramid. Corso, pyramid. Misty is the mystics that ran the pyramids. Ghoul is the ancient derivation for ghoul, like ghost and ghoul. Petra, there's also pyramids. That's where there's like an angle here. Salem is Jerusalem, which again, where they sacrifice all the people and all the things. Anyways, the camel, it's not about the camels, it's about the pyramids in the background. And Marlboro, why do you think they emphasize the A on the old logo? Because it's about the pyramid, bro.
Wow.
Pyramid, 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 pyramid. And they sacrifice to the sun. They sacrifice to the sun god all the time. American Spirit, Amadou Khan, that's another pyramid. I mean, it's all, dude, all this is Newport. It's a new portal inside of you. Camel, there's a portal. Again, it's a portal inside of you. But again, it's all about the pyramids, bro. That's why it's called pyramids and ziggurats. Like, that's what this is called. Like, you know, and so when you see it, here, I'll show you this. Watch this. Pyramids and ziggurats. Look at this. Look. Pyramids and ziggurats. They try to tell you. Oh, look at this. They're so wonderful. Pyramids and ziggurats. Yeah. Bro, these were the towers of Babel where they were sacrificing the humans at. Is it even going to load? I don't know if it's even going to load. Look at that. Pyramids and ziggurats. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Yeah, no. What word sounds like ziggurat? What other word in the whole language that you even know sounds anything like ziggurat? Cigarette and ziggurat. It's the same thing. That's why there's pyramids on all their stuff. These are towers of Babel. Every one of these little pyramids, they were sacrificing humans at and killing them and making them as offerings. This is what this is. And that's why the dollar bill has that unfinished Tower of Babel on it, which is literally like the unfinished Tower of Babel in the Bible. And so you see this right here, dollar bill pyramid. Look at that. It's the unfinished Tower of Babel with the finishing eye, which is that little Illuminati thing, which why you see Jay-Z and all those people doing this triangle thing, bringing it down over their eye. Bro, they're completing the Tower of Babel with the eye. That's what this is. This is all occultic witchcraft, human sacrifice. That's what this is about. Sacrifice. That's why they never changed the dollar bill here in America on the $1 bill. That's all of our dollar bills have that on there. This occultic, we're not a colony of Egypt. Why does it say that? You know what it says? It says annuit sepotis. Annuit is announcement. Sepotis is celebration of birth of the novus ordo seclorum. The novus is novice is new, ordo is order, and seclorum is sector orum, is in the total sector or the world. So announced celebration of birth of the new world order, 1776. That's what it says on your dollar bill, on our dollar bill here. And it's literally like so obvious. I mean, it's in everybody's pocket here. Like we've seen it forever. You probably even seen it. You're not even from here. You probably know what that is.
Yeah, I know. And this is, people say 1776 was the last great research.
Yeah, well, 1776 was when Satan was let out. So, yeah. I mean, there's a whole lot more to that. Because we're living past, we're not in, Revelation isn't coming. The Christians missed this. It already came. We are past that. We are in chapter 20, Revelation 20, where Satan was let out to deceive the entire nation. That's where we're at. And we're living in that deception right now.
So,
which is,
and this is the prophecy of, obviously, Jesus' second coming, right? Eventually.
Well, his second coming already came. That's what people just don't understand. Something's coming, but we don't really know what.
So wait, does that mean like the rapture and stuff already happened?
Yeah, that already happened.
All right. So what does that? What is that? So that would that mean that Earth is now hell?
Well, no. It just says the Bible says such as the world has no terror such as the world has never seen nor ever will see is what it says. So that means it continues on, right? But people skip that part. They forget that it says no bad thing such as the world has ever seen nor ever will see. Okay, we're in the will see part. We're in the part of the very end. We're in the very end of the earth, of his existence, where the next thing that comes is like fire rains down from heaven and destroys the earth. That's like looking like the next thing that's about to happen. But yeah, here, you want to read the rapture verses? Let's read the rapture verses. Ready? So Luke, where, Lord, where will they be taken? Okay. So let's talk about this. Where, Lord, where will they be taken? Now, here's your rapture verse. 37, Luke 17, 37. Okay. Okay. Ready? Those away from home that day must not return to pack. Those in the field must not return to town. Remember what happened to Lot's wife. Whoever clings to his life shall lose it, and whoever loses his life for their sake shall save it. That night, 2 men will be asleep in the same room. One will be taken away, the other left. 2 women will be working together at the household tasks. One will be taken, the other left. And so it will be with men working side by side in the fields. Where, Lord, where will they be taken? The disciples asked. Jesus replied, where the body is, the vultures will gather. Does that sound to you like a bunch of people being taken up into the sky? Where let me reread that to you. Where the body is, the vultures will gather. I can read it in other translations, and it will tell you the same thing. That don't sound like a bunch of people getting caught up in the sky, does it?
No. So
yeah.
Okay. Wow. So we are in the end times.
Mm-hmm. We are past a lot of it. Some demon just banged on my garage door. Did you hear that?
No. Hate that. Hate it when it happens.
Demons.
Oh, I hear
Whatever.
something.
They're stupid.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So when you read that, it kind of makes you go, wait a second. I thought the rapture was going to be like a good thing. Yeah. You want to know what the rapture was? You ever heard of the catacombs?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the rapture.
In France?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're not just in France, bro. They're in multiple places. There's like 9 places in the world where there's catacombs.
Yeah. They're crazy because it is just wall to wall with skulls.
Yeah. Let's just, you want to know about Revelation? Let's talk about Revelation. Ready? Here you go. Here's Revelation. This is Revelation. This was the moment of revelation, guys. Look at this. This is insane. Now, people right now, all the Christians are like, hear my message. You're already freaking out because of the things I said in the beginning, probably. So now you're extra freaking out because I'm like, yo, hey, you missed the rapture. but this is the rapture. I don't think you want to be a part of it. Okay. Look at this, guys. What do you think? What do you think the narrative is for this? What do you think this is? This is not just in France, bro. This is in multiple places around the world. We have catacombs like this. Just tombs and graves and skulls for stacked for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. No one knows when they came to be, do they?
Yeah, no, they carbon date them, and here's the crazy part. They try to say they're within like 100 years of each other. But that's the thing. Like this is not like all the same age. And a lot of them, or this is not all within 100 years. A lot of them are like the same age. So they've generally told you there's a certain date for this. Bro, there's like 9 of these all over the world. Guys, there's multiple graves where it's like this for like miles of this, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that verse I just read you? Where the dead bodies lie, the vultures will gather. What do you think? Why would they be stripped from their flesh if not vultures eating all their flesh off of it? Bro, this is rapture. All the wicked and godless people fell over dead. It's not the Christians that get sucked up into the sky. You've been reading the Bible wrong. Your pastor has been lying to you because he told you to worship Israel and all this other nonsense and buried all this other stuff. Your pastor has been deceived, and you believe it because you've been deceived. Like that the truth is, it's so, if you listen to your spirit, you know that's wrong. All you got to do is walk into a Catholic church and look at the dead Jesus hanging up on the cross, and your heart will go, oh, that's bad. Yeah, it's bad for a reason. That's your spirit telling you that it's wrong. It's very simple. Be like a child, be innocent. And when you see things like that, you know that there's something wrong there. It's not, the narrative is like they just dug up graves and just happened to everybody's flesh was left and they just restacked. Dude, their bones would all be different. Guess what? Most of the bones you carbon date in there are all about the same age. That's weird. Isn't that weird? They try to lie. And then, you know what they tried to say? I've read some article that was trying to say like, oh, you know, like, oh, they carbon date them because blah, 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 blah. And maybe there's some special circumstance where the bones being next to each other, like shared their carbon footprint. And that's how they somehow got the same age. That doesn't make sense. We know that doesn't happen in any of it, this situation like that. So like, what kind of nonsense is this? Bro, these were all a bunch of people, a mass die-off of a massive amount of people in like 9 places in the world. It's not just in one. And then the leftovers, the Christians that were still on earth, the good people, went around and thought, oh, this would be terrible just to like throw their bones in a pit. It's like, be respectful and at least bury them nicely in a place where they stacked them like that. That's basically what happened.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, you're living past all of this, because what it says in Revelation, people don't know their Bible enough to know that we're living past it. So if you really want to know, do you know your Bible at all or not really?
No, not really. Yeah.
Did you grow up in church or anything?
Yeah, I grew up in Sunday school, but like this is, as a kid, I felt like I was kind of forced into it. And I went,
Yeah.
you know, the people were pleasant. It was a nice environment to be in for sure. But no, I didn't really take grips with it, you know?
Got it. Well, here's what I'll read for everybody so that we all know Revelation ain't happening. There's something coming and it's not going to be good. And it's probably a comet and it's probably going to hit us. I'm thinking of like 2029. It's going to be pretty crazy. You know, I don't know. Something's happening. God's changing the entire world right now. Everyone's waking up to Christ. And that should scare you, because that's usually what God does before a bunch of people die. So like just a heads up. It should be very concerning that everyone's waking up to Christ right now, because that's very alarming in my book. But listen to this. This is Revelation 20. This is where you guys are at. This is where we're all at. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, holding in his hand a key to the bottomless pit and a great chain. And he seized the dragon, that ancient serpent who is the devil and Satan, and he bound him for 1,000 years. How long was the Dark Ages? Do you know?
Around 1,000 years, yeah.
Just around 1,000 years, wasn't it? Wouldn't that be fitting if they told you it was the Dark Ages, but yet it was actually the Light Ages? Or how about, why do you think we have all these elaborate, most fantastic structures coming out of this time that supposedly they told you was so dark and so bad that, like, you know, nothing, you know, there was just war and chaos. Nobody wrote anything down. But yet we have these most amazing structures coming out of the Dark Ages? That's weird. With horse and buggy, they built the most elaborate cathedrals and structures. With horse and buggy, they built these things at a time where it was like total chaos and nobody could even survive. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. That makes absolutely no sense. Like when you start to think about it, you're like, wait a second, this is being lied to. Yeah, we're being lied to. They don't have, there was no history there. And who's going to write anything down? If the whole world's in peace because Jesus came back for 1,000 years, what are you going to write? Susan went and got her eggs from Sally today. Like, there's nothing to write. That's why there's no history, because the world was in peace. Everybody was Christian. The whole world became Christian. The entire world was the rapture happened. All the dead people, all the evil people fell over dead. That's what those catacombs are. That's what Pompeii is. You ever seen Pompeii? All those people frozen like that? That was the moment of revelation. That's what that was. You're looking at a moment of revelation when you see Pompeii. Guess when that happened? 70 AD. Guess when the Jewish temple fell? 70 AD. Same time, right around the same time. All that stuff happened. That's the first recorded earthquake we have in history, was in 70 AD. Isn't that funny? Pompeii. There was no earthquakes before, or sorry, not earthquake, volcanic eruption. And then the whole world went black. Did you know that? For a year and a half, there was no sun. Did you know that? 536 AD. You ever heard of that?
I haven't. The only other thing I'm thinking of is that Younger Dryas impact theory, you know?
Yeah.
And they say that was the same thing, that there was just so many comets and stuff that it just blocked out the sky for years.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, volcano eruption, 536 AD. Look at this. I'll show you this.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know what direction we're going, bro. I'm just kind of swinging it. Like, I'm just showing you everything. You probably, normally I have like a direction I go when I talk. Today's is a crazy one, I guess. Look at this.
No, I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool. All right. So the forgotten apocalypse of 536 AD. Bro, like, dude, when you read about this, like 536 AD, volcanic winter of 536 AD. Bro, for a year and a half, the whole world went into black darkness, bro. Tombstone, capital of Philippi. Okay, bro, the whole world went into utter darkness for a year and a half. It was so bad. 536 AD, darkness. Okay, a volcanic eruption released vast veils of ash and aerosol, causing problematic or a prolonged period of darkness and cold known as the volcanic winter. Bro, why much of the world went dark for 18 months. 536 AD, bro. Like, dude, look this up, man. This was the moment. Okay, what does it say in the Bible? Do you know what it says in Revelation? It says the world will go into darkness. And it says the sun will not give its light and the moon will be turned blood red. Bro, that happened. And they're not telling you that. Bro, all the people, we had 1,000 years of peace. The moon, right before it, the moon turned blood red and the sun went into darkness for a year and a half. People were eating their babies. It was chaos. Everybody died. A bunch of people died. And so you see all that, bro, that happened. That actually happened. And so like they're lying to us about our history books, bro. And it's very easy when you start picking apart their arguments or their descriptions for why they think it is the way it is. You're like, this doesn't make any sense. But this would make sense if it was this way, actually. And I know what I'm saying just sounds like ludicrous, but like all you got to do is start reading it. Read some history books. You'll realize that we've been lied to. They've changed our calendar. You know what it says in the Bible? It says Satan will seek to change the times. Oh, isn't that fascinating? He did. He did change the times, the timeline, everything, even the calendar, even the months. They told you there's 12 months, bro. There's 13 months of exactly 28 days. And I made a video about this a long time ago, went super viral, and now it's like everybody's making this video. But the calendar, the turtle has 28 things around its rim. And there's exactly like the breakdown of the year is exactly 13 months of 28 days with one day that represents the renewal, and that makes 365. So there is literally a renewal day plus 28 days. Girls' periods are on 28 days. The moon's on 28-day cycle. Everything's 28-day cycle if we do it. But they did this chaos to create nonsense calendar to distort your perspective of reality. So you don't know what's going on. That's literally what's happening.
Well, even the history books too. Like no one really knows the proper timeline. All the histories have been distorted. Whatever country you're in, everything's different. So no one can even really trust that.
Yep. I mean, it's all distortion. But like there was a year and a half of darkness. And by the way, you know why the moon looks yellow in old paintings? Guess what? The moon's white. In all the old paintings, it's white. But guess what? It's yellow now. We see it more as yellow in most drawings and stuff, in most depictions. And when there's smoke outside, guess what color the moon turns? Oh, it turns red. Now imagine if the whole world was turned into a volcanic smoke winter, the moon would be blood red. Okay, the moon was blood red. And the reason why you see it in the low horizon, the moon's red when it's low in the horizon, is because of all the pollution of the atmosphere, of the smoke and all the leftover remnants of pollutants in our atmosphere today. So if there was a volcano that erupted that massively engulfed the earth to the point where it blacked out the sun and all the crops failed and died, bro, we sure bet the moon would be blood red. Guarantee you. And the sun would stop giving its light. Bro, that's exactly what it says in the Bible would happen. The moon would turn blood red and the sun would start giving its light. That happened. That actually happened. There's so many things in Revelation, and this is what I talk about on my channel. On my YouTube, if you go to Demon Racers, I talk about this and break it down and show people like literally all of these events of history have already happened. I'm to the point where I'm like, dude, it's like 98% sure that if Revelation's already happened at this point. Like I'm like pretty darn positive at this point. So yeah.
So, I mean, I think we already touched on this a little bit, but being a Christian, you only believe in one God. So all other religions, you just completely denounce them. Are they all demonic, presumably?
I would say who says I believe in only one God is not an accurate description, because God is
Trinity.
Well, yeah. There is other gods. And in fact, the Bible talks about other gods, and those other gods are the gods that are in Hinduism and in in Zoroastrianism and like all the Babylonian gods and Greek mythology and the all of that. Those are gods are real. Those gods are fallen angels, but they're real. They were real at one point. In fact, their spirit still embodies different people. Like Zeus, he's continuing on. He's in a bunch of different people. He's been moving from person to person. He possesses the next entity, and he moves on. So, like those gods were real. See what?
Have we? When was what? Who's Zeus possessed, for example?
Well, he was in Obama at one point. I don't know if he's still there. He's probably in Trump at this point. I don't even know. He was definitely in Obama.
How do you? Is this from like the spirit hearing, or how is it you know?
Well, Obama did a speech in front of the Temple of Zeus. I mean, it's pretty obvious at that point when you're like, why is Obama like what? Why is Obama over in Greece doing his some kind of speech in front of the Temple of Zeus? If it's not to just demonstrate that he is Obama, like he was in George Washington. It's pretty obvious he's in George Washington. All you got to do is look at all the structures of George Washington. You want to see those? Should I show you those?
Yeah.
Before I tell you more about Revelation, because this is crazy. George Washington is, by the way, is Zeus. Apotheosis.
Is it like these demons, these spirits will only possess for a temporary time, or do they sometimes for the whole life or whatever?
You know, they do. They're like people, bro. They do whatever they want. They kind of like, you know, they're just like any other person. Like they can possess a spirit of a person for a certain allotted time or whatever. But like, look at this. Here's, you know, click on images. Here is Zeus. Oh, I mean, George Washington. Look at this. Who is you know, Zeus has two favored wives. So here's Zeus and all of his favored wives. Who's that? Here's Neptune with his little trident fork.
With the trident, yeah.
Yeah. Here's Hermes with his little wings on his feet. Okay. And the little staff. Here's Hades, which is also a Jew, by the way, side note. Here's Victory. Here's Goddess of War, or God of War, I mean. Kratos or forget, whatever. Anyways,
Ares,
like
Ares or whatever.
Yeah. So like, look, here they all are. So if that's Neptune, who's that? That's Zeus, bro. That's Zeus with his two favored wives. And here's his other wives. E pluribus unum, it says right here. From many one. From many what? They told you it was from many nations. No, fool. It's from many gods one. That's what this is. That's George Washington. He is Zeus. All you have to do is look. George Washington statue. Statue of George Washington. Let's look right here. Images. Oh, that's pretty weird. That's a weird looking statue. Huh. Strange. That's a weird pose. He's got the Roman sandals on. He's got little lions right here. He's got a sword. What's this? You know that sword comes out of his hand, by the way, and he's holding that same finger pose. Okay, that's pretty weird. Let's type Hercules. You know who Hercules is, right? The son of Zeus. Right, so this is on the side of that statue. Look at that. Wow. This is Hercules. You know that this is on the side of that same statue. You've got the crying dead baby here, and this is Hercules, who's befriended the snake. Well, in the story of Hercules, he kills the snake, supposedly. But here he's got a star above his head. Like, yeah, wow. And on the other side, you've got the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which already happened, by the way, and Apollyon carrying the sun. This is Apollo. This is another depiction of Satan. Okay, you got these lions. You got another ritual staff dude on the other side. You got on this side over here, you got a little dude holding an apple, which he's a little person. You see the little person right here? I don't know if you can see him, but.
No, you might need to zoom in a little bit.
See this little dude? He's right here holding an apple. This little dude.
Yeah. Wow.
So he's a miniature person because Zeus is a giant. Let's see if I can find the other one. So here's the other little person. See this little guy right here? He's on the other side of him.
So it's got the snake too. Is this like Adam and Eve as well? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So he's holding the apple, knowledge of tree of good and evil. That's Adam. That's holding the apple. And then now watch. Ready? Throne. Actually, we'll do statue of Zeus. Oh, wow. The same pose. Look at that. Look at that. Not only, look, the little lions. Oh, look, there's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse being carried by Apollo. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's the little eagle. Here's the little sandals he's got on. Tell me that ain't Zeus. Or tell me that's not George Washington. Which one? Because it's the same thing.
Wow.
This is Zeus. This is Zeus. Again, another depiction. Look at that. And then here you are. Look, here's Zeus. Well, they told you that was the American eagle on your coin. No, that's Zeus's embodiment. He turns into an eagle. And guess what? We've been putting Zeus, coin, eagle. Look at this. We've been putting Zeus's head, Zeus, head, eagle. Oops, whatever. There you go. Look at that. So they told you that was George Washington's head that we were putting on the coin with the eagle on the backside? No, it wasn't. Look. Zeus, eagle. Zeus, eagle. Oh, let's see. Zeus, eagle.
Wow.
Oh, we've been putting Zeus's head with an eagle. Zeus, eagle. And the snake. Look. And the snake. There's the little snake. Oh, look at that. Zeus on the throne holding the eagle. Okay. There, dude, we've been putting Zeus with the eagle on multiple coins for multiple times, and he's a giant. That's actually an elephant. If you see this elephant skin, because he's a giant. Yeah, that's the tusk right here. That's his elephant trunk because he's a giant holding the eagle. We've been putting Zeus with an eagle on the coin for centuries. We've been doing that forever. That's not George Washington on your eagle coins in America. That's freaking Zeus.
Wow.
That's Zeus. And that's why you see these coins all over the place. You'll see these eagle coins on everything. By the way, it's not just in America. It's every country. Almost every one of them where Satan's taken the throne, he'll put an eagle coin representing Zeus.
Right.
Like, and it's just, dude, it's everywhere, bro. We've been doing this for centuries. So
yeah, I mean, like, and when you try and look up the Illuminati symbol on the dollar bill, oh, it's just some bullshit. Like, it makes no sense, the official explanation, you know?
Yeah.
And one of the things which I always found crazy was when you look at Buckingham Palace, like if you see the aerial shots, have you seen these? And you look at Yeah.
Let me Google it.
So look at Buckingham Palace and look at the aerial shot of it. And the way that the road is marked out, you have the triangle structure.
Oh, wow.
And at the top, you have the eye as well.
Oh, my gosh, bro. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then do the same thing, but Capitol building, United States.
Oh, I've seen it in the United States. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was the same way your guys' place, too, in Buckingham.
They have another one in the Vatican, too. And supposedly it's England was for the money, America was for the military, and then to control the Vatican, you had now the religion.
Yep. That's the completion of the Tower of Babel, guys. That means it's a sacrifice. That's hilarious. It's like so obvious.
Yeah, exactly. When you start to notice it, like all of these things are hidden in plain sight.
Oh yeah, for sure. Intentionally right there. And it's just like, but you don't see these things. They make it so like preposterous that it would ever actually be that. But it's totally what it is, you know? And so like the thing is, like, all of this stuff is like the Statue of Liberty is Satan. That's very, I don't know if people haven't figured that one out. Have you figured that one out?
I've heard it, but I don't know the law or anything.
It's so obvious it's Satan. Like, look at this. Statue of Lucifer. Watch this one in the check bank. This is hilarious. So this is, I present to you the statue of Lucifer over the banks. And you tell me if the Statue of Liberty, if you think the Statue of Liberty is not that dude, look, bro, the Lucifer sculpture in the check bank. Look, that's the Statue of Liberty, bro. Look, it's got the crown. It's got the torch. Bro, this is the Statue of Liberty. It's
Like,
a dude.
why even is there an actual statue of Lucifer outside the bank too?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Good
why would
question. It's a very good question. And here's another statue of Lucifer, a very famous one. He's got a chain on his ankle. This is when he was in prison. He's got the 7-pointed crown. The 7 points are still there. It's broken. And yeah, there's the apple, the big apple, where the Statue of Liberty sits. And the Statue of Liberty has a chain on its ankle, by the way, but it's broken because the Statue of Liberty represents Satan being released from hell because he's been in prison. So like that's literally what this is.
Wow.
And so you can just like, it's so clear when you see it. This is another statue of Lucifer. It's called the Light Bringer. Let's see if it'll bring it up. But like he's literally, it's very obvious that's the statue of Satan. I mean, like here's a painting of the statue. Here's the painting of Lucifer. Look at the face, and then look at the Statue of Liberty's face.
And then
like,
the 7 points, like you say,
dude. It's so that face is so unusual.
Right. So the 7 points and the light bringer. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's so obvious. It's just like insane that it doesn't even look like that. Like here's another thing. Look, this is the chain on the Lucifer's foot. The Statue of Liberty has a broken chain on his foot. Okay? Like it's very clearly that this is it. I mean, you can see this. Wow. Yeah, so it's very clear when you start to look into these things. And like this is Helios. This is the statue of Helios right here. Statue of which Helios is also Satan, by the way.
Right. Well, this is the thing. Like throughout so many religions, they all seem to have the same theme. They seem to repeat themselves.
Look at this statue of Helios. Here's his pointed crown. Here's his torch. He just took the robe off, so he's naked. And then like look at this. Wow. This is also that stood over the Library of Alexandria. This is Satan again with his little pointy crown. And guess what? It's also called the Colossus of Rhodes. Okay, this is the Colossus. And like this is also the same thing that stood in front of the Colosseum called the Colossus of Nero. And here he is again, running the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is Satan, guys. This is Satan. Like, but people don't know that because they just don't believe it. So ready? Look at this. Colossus of Nero, which this is where they were sacrificing and killing all the Christians. Look at this. There you go. There's Satan right here in front of the Colosseum where they were killing all the Christians with his little crown and his little torch in his hand. Like, bro, this is they cut him off, his head off right here because they don't want you to realize that it's him, but he's got the crown right there too. Another depiction, got the little crown, a little torch from old drawings way back in the day. Again, another depiction from old drawings way back in the day. Massive statue of the dude with the crown.
Wow.
Looks kind of like a girly man anyways, because I guess that's just how Satan looks. But, dude, this is what it is.
Wow.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you were going to say something?
I was going to bring it back. Oh, go ahead.
This is where they were killing the Christians. This is where they murdered all the Christians at. This is where you get Roman candles from. You know what a Roman candle is? It's not a firework. You know what that is?
No, what is it?
Roman candle is where they covered the Christians in wax and then lit them on fire on a stick. This is where they murdered. This is where Revelation took place, guys. This is like the leftover remnants of Revelation. What they were talking about in Revelation, where they were killing all the Christians, feeding them to lions and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Satan is the Statue of Liberty, and that's presented. Why do you think it's like, dude, it's so clear at this point. You just got to like know history and read a little bit of stuff. Like the Bible says, study to prove yourself worthy. It literally tells us you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to study and know these things. You're supposed to research this stuff, but people don't want to do that. They don't want to research. They want to be lazy. But Satan's created the world so that way you're more incentivized to be lazy and you don't know these things and you don't look into this stuff and you don't realize that Zeus is actually Satan, which is actually Helios. It's the same entity throughout history. He's got the same characteristics. He looks the same, does the same stuff. It's all Satan.
Wow. Earlier you were saying Zeus is a giant. And so that's one of the other theories, that the Greek gods were actually the Nephilim, right?
Yep, they were.
Yeah. So what, like for those who don't know, what is the Nephilim?
Yeah. So the Nephilim are the fallen angels that mated with the Christians, or mated with the fallen angels mated with the people. Mated with the fallen, The fallen angels came down to earth, basically saw women and were like, dang, we want to join with those things. Like basically, and they joined with humans, and humans traded their women for technology. And we gained a bunch of technology from the fallen angels. That's what and then we're born out of these unions of Nephilim, angels, and women. We're born the fallen angels and women were born the Nephilim. The Nephilim were born as these creations. Demon's leaving you, bro. It's great.
Yeah, because this is the thing too, wasn't it? This is when, was it Sodom and what's the
Sodom
city?
and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah, and this is the city which God actually destroyed because of this, right?
Well, most people don't know that, but yeah, that's literally why he destroyed them. Like anytime God wipes people out or says like destroy them or end them, it's because there's not humans there. But Christians have to like justify, if they don't know the story of the Nephilim, they have to be like, oh, well, sometimes God just kills people because he just does it and he's God and that's what he wants to do. And it's like, no, dude, read your Bible, know history. God wiped them out because they weren't human. There was no humans in that area. They were all Nephilim hybrid animal mixed races. That's why God said kill even the women, the children, and the animals too, because they would hybridize with animals. So all those things in Greek mythology, those little goat men and the mermaids and centaurs, those were real. Those things actually existed at one point.
Wow.
So yeah, they existed and they wiped them out.
Yeah. Because I mean, the Bible does reference the Nephilim, but then to go one further, like obviously, like the Book of Enoch, this is when it really kind of opens people's eyes to this, and you can kind of I can understand what you're saying, where the church is corrupted because they specifically left out loads of books. And it's only when you go to things like the Ethiopian Bible do you actually see like, oh, there's all these other stories left in there.
Yep. And then like the Jews did that, by the way.
Let's talk about that, because with obviously like modern Judaism, they've purposely modern Judaism, they reject Jesus completely. In fact, they have this like animosity towards him.
Well, modern Judaism is the occult. It's the head of witchcraft. It's the head of the Satanism. It's not at all what was in the biblical narrative of Judaism. Modern Judaism is a perversion created afterwards. That's why they have Jesus in their Bible. That was created afterwards, dude, in their Torahs, in their texts, and he's burning an excrement in their Tanakh is what's in.
Right.
So it's like, you know, like they have the Tanakh, they have the Torah, and they have the Talmud. Okay. And all of their stuff, it's like, bro, it's all perversions created after Jesus, except for, you know, the Torah, which was the first, you know, 5 books of the Bible. But they've just basically taken that and then added occultic practices of witchcraft and perversion and anti-Jesus rhetoric and superiority, white supremacy, and all this other terrible stuff about how you can mistreat people and do wicked things. It's totally a satanic book. It's so satanic and evil. It's so perverse and wicked. And so like Judaism today is literally just a perversion against Christianity. There's only one religion in the world that really hates Jesus, and that's Judaism. So it's comical that we have like Judeo-Christian, like it's just like such a joke, bro. You clearly don't know Judeo anything. Because if you'd studied Judaism, you would know that it is a wicked. People are like, oh, the Muslims are the bad guy. They're the most terrible thing. It's like, you obviously don't have any Muslim friends. You never met a Muslim. If you think that, you're just ignorant and you're foolish. Like, dude, the people that say that, it's like, bro, you just don't know any Muslims. Like, dude, you just haven't had a conversation with a Muslim person, apparently. Because it's like, dude, Muslims are actually more Christian than half the Christians that I know. They're way more Christian. They behave how Jesus has called us to behave, which is really sad, because you're like, dang, Christians, you're failing so bad that the Muslim people like are better in character and love than you are. Like, wow, that's shocking.
How do you feel about some of the areas in Islam where it's like, if you leave, then in their Sharia, you can be put to death, for example?
Yeah, so Muslims are perversions as well of Christianity. Again, it's another perversion of Christianity, because again, the whole world was Christian for 1,000 years, and there was like peace on earth. And then after that 1,000 years, Satan was let out. Okay, here, I'll just read you the rest of Revelation. You'll see where we're at, okay. And then I'll answer that, because then you'll understand what's really going on. It says, then I saw an angel, Revelation 20. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, holding in his hand a key to the bottomless pit and a great chain. He seized that dragon, the ancient serpent, who is the devil, and he bound him for 1,000 years. Why do you think the Statue of Liberty has a broken chain on its foot? Because he was let out. Okay. Bound him for 1,000 years and threw him into a pit and shut it and sealed it over him so that he might not deceive the nations any longer until the 1,000 years were ended. After that, he must be released for a little while. That's where we're at. We're in the little while. This is where we're at right now. Okay. Then I saw the thrones, and seated on them were those who had the authority to judge was committed. Also, I saw the souls of those that had been beheaded for their testimony, which is their eyewitness experience, for their testimony of Jesus and for the word of God. And those that had not worshiped the beast or its image and had not received its mark on their forehead or their hands. That's referring to Nero Caesar, who was marking people. Okay. They don't teach you this in church, but there's a whole lot of stuff related to it, and they've tried to bury a lot of it. But they were marking people to buy and sell in the markets. They came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. Whoa. So they reigned with Christ for 1,000 years, the ones that got their heads chopped off. We're not beheading people anymore, and we're not going to go back to it. Sure, that happens rarely, but we're not chopping heads. But guess what? When I showed you that Roman Colosseum, they were chopping heads left and right if you were Christian. And those people came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. Then it says the rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years was ended. So then after the 1,000 years, the rest of the dead, a bunch of other dead people came to life. I don't know who the dead people are. That's a big debate. I think it might be some of the people that didn't have a chance to know Christ before he came. They got an opportunity to come to life and get to relive and know Christ. And we might be the children of those people. And this is ideas where reincarnation comes from. Reincarnation is a perversion of resurrection from the Bible. That's what it is. So, anyways, they came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years was ended. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy are the ones that share in the first resurrection. Over such, the second death has no power, but they will be priests of God in Christ, and they will reign with him for 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years is ended, Satan will be released from his prison, and he will come out to deceive the nations that are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. Do you know that in England, you guys have a Gog and Magog little party you guys throw with the giant two statues? Did you know that?
No, what's up?
Yeah, Gog and Magog. You don't know about the parade of Gog and Magog they have over in like the English Parliament space or whatever? Yeah, so they have these two giant, they have these two giant statues. Look at this parade of Gog and Magog. And it's so funny because they're like, these two giants saved us. Gog and Magog parade. Look. Look at this. So the story goes, see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Gog and Magog. The story goes that Gog and Magog saved the world. And look at the Roman architecture in the background. It's just comical because it's everywhere, because we were Rome, like it took over the whole earth. But these Gog and Magog statues, these are the saviors of humanity, of the great England, whatever. Bro, this is in the Bible, Gog and Magog. This is these are the bad guys, okay? They're not the heroes. Like, this is badness, okay?
So more of the Nephilim again.
Yeah, again, it's Nephilim giants stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is like, bro, it's right in our face, but we miss it. So it says Gog and Magog, and gather them, go to all nations of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. Their numbers are like the sands of the sea. And so they will march up on the broad plain of the earth and surround the camp of the saints of the beloved city, but fire will come down from heaven and consume them. And the devil who has deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet were already thrown, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. So basically what's coming next is a bunch of people are going to turn against the Christians, and fire is going to come down from heaven and consume them. That sounds like probably what's coming next. Not 100% sure about that, but we'll see. Still don't really know where we are in timeline, but we're definitely past like almost every I can find almost every event in Revelation has already happened.
Wow.
So, like, what is this? Where did they come up with the idea of Gog and Magog statues that saved the city? Bro, it doesn't save the city. Gog and Magog gets destroyed by fire. That's what happens. Okay? This is like wishful thinking of their Gog and Magog. You know who Gog and Magog is? The children of the Nephilim. You know who it is? It's England. It's us. We are the United States. It's the United States is Gog and Magog. We are the wickedness, and that's why we are going to turn against the camp of God's saints, the Christians. It's going to turn, the world's going to turn against the Christians, and the Christians are going to go through persecution probably, and God's going to venerate with fire from heaven, which is probably going to be an asteroid. So people need to wake up real fast because it's coming, but it ain't what people think. It's not going to be like Jesus is going to show up and be like, yay, Christians, we're going to evaporate into the sky. No, we're going to live, but there's going to be fire that's coming down from heaven. So it's going to be pretty, you better get to learn to hear the voice of the Lord real clear if you want to be able to avoid whatever that fire is coming, because it ain't going to be good.
I feel that's one of the things of actually being a Christian too. It isn't just like love and everything's going to be fine. I think it's also being willing to die for your faith, willing to give up like all your material objects and stuff. Not because I think that's how, if the devil was around, that's how he would seduce you. He would seduce you with materialism.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be willing to, like, even your body, you have to be willing to go through pain, go through hardships in order to actually be a true Christian, I think.
I agree. But this is what we're supposed to do, and we're supposed to operate in love and unity. And like the thing is, a lot of the other religions, they get that, but they miss the part of Jesus. And then the Christians don't get that. So like the Muslims, like, bro, the Sharia law, like, bro, that, like, the thing is, like, there's some distortion, but it was originally Christian. That's why even in the Sharia, even in the Muslims believe that Jesus will come back in the end. Do you know that?
Yeah. I had this conversation with a Muslim just the other day, and
why?
Exactly, because and it's Jesus they believe who's gonna kill all the evil.
If he's not that significant, then why is he the one that comes back in the end, bruh?
Exactly. So then I was like, well, surely, and like they believe out of all the prophets, because they believe in Moses, they believe in Muhammad, and they believe in Jesus. Jesus is the only one that got resurrected. They genuinely believe that. Like, that is the biggest miracle. And that is the thing which ties most people to Christianity. If they believe in the resurrection, they believe in Jesus. Muslims believe in that, and yet they still don't see Jesus as someone like more special than Muhammad.
Well, some of them don't believe in it, but yeah. They still don't think
I couldn't wrap my head around that, really.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then he comes back to judge the world, bro. Like, why do you think he comes back to judge the world? But that's the deception. He already came back and judged the world. And so they believe in the same deception that the Christians believe, that Revelation's coming and that all this other stuff's happening. You know, it's like my Christian brothers and sisters. I'm Christian too. Like, you can call me a Christian because I'm a follower of Christ. But like, you guys need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up to the reality of what's going on. I just showed you a bunch of evidence of things that they tell you in Revelation is going to happen. Well, guess what? It already happened. And you just saw a whole, there's tons more evidence. If you want to know more, like I said, get on my YouTube. We break down every subject about all the things that have already happened in Revelation. And I go through it a whole lot. But anyways, Demon Racers, YouTube, watch it.
Get on that. I guess I got two questions, right? So let's say the church is corrupted. What do you think would be the best advice for your everyday Christian to actually follow the right path? And going back, and then another one with the giants and stuff, there's those who say, like, the Epic of Gilgamesh, for example, predates the Bible. So how do we know that the Bible is the original and, not the Epic of Gilgamesh?
You just got to watch my YouTube, bro, because I break this down so many times. But like, how can I do this in a short version? Okay, let me just show you this. So I'm going to just show you some ancient Chinese and Japanese, and we're going to start. Ready? Okay. Can you see that? Actually, you know what? I think I probably, I think I have an email with it. So then I'll just bring it up on my email. I'll start with this. Okay, let me grab my screen, share. Ready, and go. All right. So let's start with the oldest written language in the world. Okay. Chinese is the oldest recorded consistent language that we have. Okay, so we know that it exists, and it goes back about 4,000 years ago, which was theoretically right about the time Noah jumps off the boat. Okay, so like right here, we've got the word for people. It's jinn. And then we got the word for heaven. It's 10. Okay, and then we got the word for giant. Isn't that fascinating? Wow. People made it with the children of heaven, and they bore giants. Look at that. Isn't that funny?
Wow.
Yeah. And here's the word people, jinn, which is Gentile, okay, because they were Gentiles, which is giant tile. It means giant, actually, descendant of giant. There's a little bit of distortion that happens here. And so we've got the word for dog. We've got the word for mouth. Okay, remember mouth is like a box. Okay, and remember legs is like one person's bend and one has got a foot. Okay, this is the word for field or garden. This is the word for tree. This is the word for light. Okay, this is the word for woman. Okay, so it looks kind of confusing, but eve, evening. Okay, it's kind of like partially woman, but anyways. So we'll just go down to, here's the word for table. So now when we combine these words, we get things like this. So the word for naked this is the word for garden plus the word for tree plus the word Z to the left, which is the God radical. So if you read in the Bible, God, when they ate from the tree of knowledge and good and evil in the garden, God saw them and they realized that they were naked. Now, this is the oldest written language in the world. Why is their language reflecting stories directly from the Bible? Okay. Now let's see. Here's the word for forbidden. 2 trees plus the word show. So here's the word show plus tree and tree. This is forbidden. Okay. Here's the word covet. The woman coveted the 2 trees. Okay. In the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, there was 2 trees. The woman ate from one of them, and God hid the other tree away. Okay. But this is the story for forbidden. You're not to eat from the 2 trees, God said. The woman coveted the 2 trees. Okay. Why is that literally ancient Chinese? Bro, I could talk to somebody that speaks Chinese or knows Chinese, and I immediately convert them into Christians. Like, it's so like, because I just start showing them their whole language is Christian. They don't even know it. Okay. So this is the word while. This is heart. When it's conjugated, it looks like this. So heart while soil. What is heart while soil? Heart while soil is called the word for mystery, but it's really mystery of life. Okay. Well, Adam is heart while soil. That's what Adam is. He's alive while dirt. And then we don't know. It's a mystery, the mystery of life. Okay. This is soil, which is a Christian cross. This is gentleman. It's just a longer Christian cross on there, which is interesting. That's a whole nother subject. Actually, I won't go into there. Oh, this one's funny. This is the radical for legs with a line, and this is the little dash in between. This is ordinary. And then this is circumcision, which is like funny because it's one of the legs is right here. This is the other leg, and then God's in between the middle of the legs. It's just kind of funny. And then this is the word discount next to it. So discount leg with God in the middle is circumcision. I just think that one's funny. Anyways, but this is like totally, it's like Christian based. It's all Christian based. And then Brahma, right. Brahma is ordinary, 2 trees plus ordinary plus heaven plus king, which is Abrahma, which is Abraham. Okay. So Brahma, which is the god in Hinduism as well. Okay. There's a whole lot of ties to that. Now you can look at the word for vessel is this, and the word for 8. And then if you combine vessel with 8 plus mouth, this equals big boat. Okay. In the Bible, there was 8 persons that got on a vessel and 8 mouths. That's what the mouth represents person. So 8 mouths on a vessel is big boat. That's their word for boat. Wow. So like, why is their word for boat 8 plus mouth plus vessel? Because it's from the Bible. There was 8 people on the boat that survived the flood. You ask me about Gilgamesh, bro, there's your Epic of Gilgamesh. It's more epic in this way because it's literally telling you that's their language, bro. That's the word for boat is 8 mouths plus vessel. That's from the Bible. That's from the narrative. So we know that this is in their language. That's older than what we know of their Epic of Gilgamesh is totally different. Why is it this way? Like this is the oldest consistent language. So it's like maybe Maybe there's a distortion happening, but we don't know which way the distortion is. But it's pretty convenient when the distortion lines up with everything biblical. Like, dude, this is like, there's so many things when you go into this, you start breaking these down. Every one of these words are like biblically connected. Like, here's the word for soil. And then you put a line on top of the Christian cross and it's the word for king. Okay. And then you add a little dash and it becomes Lord. And then you add 2 dashes and a line down and it becomes Lamb. Jesus is called the Lord, the King, and the Lamb of God. So that's what Jesus is called. And that's their words in their thing. Okay. And Jesus is also called the eternal water. And eternal and water is the same word. And their word beautiful is the word giant plus the word lamb. Why would you do the word lamb plus giant? And the word Lord is the tree of life with the word lamb and water mixed together. And it's like same thing with righteousness. These are all lamb. They got the word lamb in there. Why do you keep putting the word lamb for the word righteousness? Land plus hand and sword. Well, what did Jesus do? He got pierced in his hand, and hung on the cross. So hand and sword plus lamb. He was the lamb that was sacrificed. That's their word for righteousness. It's exactly from the Bible. Like, bro, every one of these words, it's like there's so much you can break down and you start to see stuff. Look, their word for demon is my favorite. It's hilarious. It's literally the word garden plus the word legs plus the word secret. And so in the Bible, the serpent lost his legs when he told them the secret of eating from the garden of the trees that they weren't supposed to eat of. Their word for magic is the 2 trees plus garden plus legs plus secret, the word demon with house over it, which is the devil or magic or ma, okay, or manipulation. Akuma is the devil and his name is heart below even ma. So it's like, dude, it's all of these words, dude. I could keep going, dude. Do you want to have a chat? We're not going to have a Japanese class or ancient Chinese right now. So we'll stop.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so
crazy.
Here's the thing.
That is crazy.
That every language, their language is completely Christian. Like the Japanese and ancient Chinese, it's completely Christian. And when you realize that, you're like, oh my gosh, why is their language Christian? Like, why is there Christian? Why does it all reference Jesus, bro? Even their word in Japanese, dude, the word for 10 is a Christian cross and it's pronounced Jew. Jesus was the Jew of the Christian cross, right? Bro, their culture, their understanding, like all of it, every culture around the world that has Christian totally derived from Christian elements. And it makes you wonder, how is that a thing? How is that possible? Well, that's because the whole world was Christian at one point. There are 1,000 years, the entire world was Christian. And then after Satan was let out, he started deceiving the world and all the religions started to repopulate, but they populated with a perversion of Christianity at their root. That's why the languages are all Christian. Bro, you talk to people in other languages and their terms in their language have Christian words throughout their language consistently. Like in Hinduism, the word nazar, it means vision. It means to see. You know what they call Christians? Nazarenes. That's what they call them in Hinduism, Nazarini. That means Christian, but it means Nazar or Nazarene means to see or to have vision or to understand, and Jesus was from Nazareth. Okay. He's from Nazareth. That's why their word for Christian is Nazarini. And like, bro, there's so many parts of their language that are totally Christian. And you break it down and you're like, oh my gosh, like what? You guys, how do you not believe in Jesus? Like I talk to a Hindu person and I can easily be like, yeah, bro, here's your own language is all Christian. And when I tell them that, then I start showing them things. They're like, oh, they're like, what? They're like, how did I not know this? Bro, it all points to Jesus. Now, whether that's prophetic and it was there before Jesus showed up and it just prophetically points to him, either way, it all points to him. Or whether the world was all Christian at one point, like I believe, and then it was perverted away from it. Either way, everything points to Jesus. And it's like, dude, there can't, like, at a certain point, you got to be like, okay, this is the truth at this point. Like you got to believe that, like, it's weird that all the languages, all the religions, every one of it has literally Jesus all over it. It's just a distortion of Jesus. Buddhism and Taoism, same exact thing, bro. It's completely rip off of Christianity, like completely. And it's like they just remove the Christian aspect or the Jesus aspect eventually. And so it's like, but it's a distortion again. And here's the thing, like Japanese, all the things in ancient Greek relate to the stories of the Bible. All the things in Japanese culture relate to the stories of the Bible. All the things in Hindu culture relate to the stories in the Bible. I can show you the line of everything. You give me any religion, and I will tell you what it is biblically related in the Bible. Talk about anything in any religion. Zoroastrianism, Babylonian religion. Talk about some practice that they do, and I will almost guarantee you it came from the Bible. And now here's the interesting part. But it doesn't do that across religions. So Japanese culture will have practices that relate to the Bible, but they don't relate to Greek mythology. Greek mythology, everything in it relates to the Bible, but it won't relate to Hinduism. Hinduism, everything relates to the Bible, but it won't relate to Japanese or to Zoroastrianism or to Babylonian stuff. Like it just won't cross-pollinate, but they all stem from the one tree, which is the biblical narrative of who Jesus is and who Christ is. All religions stem from this one main root that goes straight up. And then it's like their little shoot off branches that are corruptions of Jesus and of the truth. That's basically in a quick nutshell. That was my fastest way to explain it. Sorry.
No, awesome. That was amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Bro, wow. I'm gonna show you one more thing because it's just too crazy.
Okay.
So like look at this. So all right. So in Japanese, there's this thing. They're called Mikoshi shrines. Do you know about the Ark of the Covenant?
Yeah. I mean, I know what it looks like. You know,
it's
the
golden thing, right? Yeah. So
sure.
In Japanese, they have these things they carry around on their shoulders. You ever seen this?
I've never seen this. What?
Yeah, it's throughout all their culture, and they oftentimes will have birds on top or winged creatures on top or phoenixes or whatever. And they march them through the streets, these gold little shrines that they carry and march through the streets.
And like,
bro,
what is this to them? Like, what is this meant to symbolize?
They say it's a shrine. They say it's some little shrine, but they have camels on them too. There's no camels in Japan. And you're like, where did they get the idea of putting camels on these things sometimes? And you're like, what is with this little golden shrine? Okay, well, guess what? They shout a phrase in Japanese. Washio, Washio. And Mikoshi shrine, they have phoenixes on them and all kinds of stuff that's like totally like, they shout a phrase. The phrase means nothing. It doesn't mean anything in Japanese. In Hebrew, the phrase they're shouting means to bear up the presence of the Lord. And you're like, what? Like, oh my gosh. Here's the other thing, dude. Where do you think they got that? And it's a distortion. Again, it's a perversion of Christianity, of the truth. But here's the crazier part. They also have like, I make a video about Tengu that I've like expressed to everybody what that is. So have you seen that one?
I saw this video. Yeah, very good.
So that's another just element of it. And Tengu taught them the Torah no Maki, which is the scroll of the Torah. And that he also taught them the way of the samurai. Well, guess what? Samurai doesn't mean anything in Japanese, but shamurai in Hebrew means warrior of God. Isn't that funny? Shamurai is warrior of God taught by Tengu, which is Tenju. So like, bro, when you see all this stuff, you're like, it's like, okay, well, who's ripping off who at this point? Someone's ripping off somebody. Well, it's very clear who the root is because all of them rip off of the one root. All of them rip off of the one root. And that's every dude. They have a thing in Japanese culture. They go up a mountain. It's called Mount Mudarai. Okay. No, Mudaraya. Mudaraya. And in Mount Mudaraya, two priests go up a mountain and they find a deer caught in the bushes at the top and they sacrifice it. And they come on down the mountain. Okay, Mount Mudarai. In the Bible, the story of Isaac goes up the mountain with his dad to be sacrificed, and then they catch a deer or a ram gets caught in the bushes, and he sacrifices them on Mount Moriah. Mudaraya, Moriah. What do you think that is? Like it's literally the same thing. Like it's so. People just miss what the narrative is because the narrative has been distorted over years because Satan was let out. And when he got out, he just started perverting all of the cultures by pride because people gave into pride. When you give into pride, it distorts everything you never know and see. You have to be humble to study this stuff. You have to be so humble to be like, I could be wrong. I don't know anything. and God will
Right.
show you stuff if you're humble. But people do these rituals and like, oh, we're going to carry this golden statue to represent God's blah, blah, blah. And then you get all this pride in you. Oh, it's got to be this certain way. And blah, blah. And all of a sudden you've created a whole nother religion from something you were originally doing just to be fun and honor the Lord. And now it's completely turned into some perversion through your man's arrogance and pride over years. So that's what's happened to the world. Arrogance and pride has perverted through Satan's influence all of the religious things away from the truth of what Christianity was. Bam.
Bam. Okay.
Welcome to my TED Talks. I'm just kidding. Sorry, dude. I don't know if you meant us to go in this direction, but I talk about witchcraft, I talk about demons, but today we're talking about religion things.
No, I appreciate that. And I think that there is such a longing for this. So many people want to learn. And especially, if you're saying that there's so much corruption now, it's quite hard for people to see the true path.
It's very hard. But when you understand the Bible and you read the biblical narrative and you get the Bible into you so well, bro, I study any other religion and I'm just like, that's from the Bible. I'm like, that's from the Bible. That's from the Bible. That's from the Bible. Like, I just know it so well at this point. I just like find it. Like God just shows it to me too. Like as I'm reading, he'll be like, here's what this is. And I'll just study. So I've studied so many different religions at this point. Like I just like look through them and I'm just like, this is like straight up Jesus. This is Jesus right here. This is Jesus. And it's so cool though, because you like realize it's like, dude, there's like such a distortion and it becomes so simple. At the beginning of the show, just like I was talking to you, it's all about love one another, love the Lord your God, with all your heart, soul, and mind, love your neighbor as yourself. We got to love each other. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, even like today with social media and stuff, it breeds ego. So it takes you away from love. It boosts this idea of pride. You got all of the news, which is just pushing like negative media thoughts and like hate to one another. It makes sense why people have drifted so far away from Christianity.
Oh yeah, it is. It's through pride. They've just been dragged away by Satan. People stopped loving each other a long time ago. 1776. That was when Satan was let out and he started really doing his magic and distorting everything. So I think all the religions basically have been revamped since 1776. I think probably 1700s, it was probably all distorted. It's just started getting corrupted there.
Do you think the date of what we believe Jesus was crucified, do you think that's accurate or do you think that's completely wrong then?
I have no clue, man. I wasn't there. Like, no,
exactly.
And I definitely, I don't believe what they're telling us at this point. There's no way at this point. Like, dude, our calendar, I can tell you just from knowing that worldwide event where the world went dark, you can actually line up the Chinese calendar with the Roman calendar there's multiple different calendars you can line up, and that event is recorded and we know about it, right? And so you can line things into alignment and it's recorded in those calendars. So what ends up happening is you realize our calendar is 100% being lied to us. Like we are either off by 1,000 years, 500 years, 300 years, or 700 years. It's like it's one of those things we think, we're not sure, based on the calendar events of alignment. And it could be, it's possible that we're not off and they just they realigned all these events in those calendars just to screw with us so we couldn't figure it out. But yeah, like Satan's definitely done a number of perverting the calendar in our history and where we're at. I'll tell you that much. Definitely. That's why he's the Statue of Liberty. That's why a big old statue of Satan hangs up in the United States. Which, by the way, the Statue of Liberty is not just in the United States. You know that? Statue of Liberties are all over the world.
I did not know that, no.
Yeah, they got them in China. They got them everywhere. It's crazy. I wonder if they have one in Thailand. I bet they do. Let me see.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Statue of Liberty, Thailand. Let's see if there is. Oh, yep, there's one.
No, really?
Yep. There's a Statue of Liberty in Thailand. Let me see. I'll show you it if you want to see the Statue of Liberty in Thailand.
Bring it up.
There it is, buddy. It's a smaller one, but it's there.
Oh, there you go. There you go. The 7 points. Nice.
Ugh. It's that's Satan, dude, and he's in Thailand. He's in every country, dude. Statue of Liberty in China, bro. Like, look at this. And they have a different name for the one in China too. But they've got this one, the OG looking ones in China. Okay, why is that in China? Why? Why? Why is that in China? Because it's freaking Satan, dude. It ain't the Statue of Liberty. There's multiple ones. This one's on a little island in China, this little spit. It's like straight up. How is that not Satan? That's in China. Why is that in China? Here's this one. They call this the goddess of democracy. It's still the Statue of Liberty. Look at this thing. You're holding the torch. She just doesn't have the book in this one's hand. But again, another one in China. Look at this one. Another one in China. There's multiple Statues of Liberties in China. It's crazy. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah, because it's Satan, dude. It ain't the Statue of Liberty.
Because you know the whole thing with the Baphomet, like it's meant to be obviously the goat head, but also transgender. And is this just meant to be some parallel with Satan, as in you can't really tell if it's feminine or masculine?
Yeah, of course they make it that way. It's the same kind of androgynous thing that they want you to think that it's a woman, but it's not. I mean, Satan's a man woman anyways. Humans don't really have gender. They just don't care about it.
The more you know.
It's not a thing. They were created before God created man and woman, so they're genderless. They take whatever form they want.
Yeah. And I think in the book, it's either in the Book of Enoch or the Bible, the giants, even though they were killed by the flood, their souls still remain, and this is what roams the earth, right? These are supposedly the demons. Something like that.
The Nephilim.
You're gonna know.
Yeah, well, the demons, there's a lot to what the demons are. I mean, there's multiple origins of demons, so they come from different places. There's a lot of different kinds of demons, and they're spiritual entities. The most common one is that they were killed in the flood, and they're leftover spirits of the Nephilim are what demons are today. That's the most common one, but that's from the Book of Enoch. But that's not the only one where they come from. Those are a certain type of demon. Those are head demons, I would say. Those are the higher sort of ranking demons, I think, in some regard, that people answer to. Those are the fallen Nephilim, but they're bigger, but they're not necessarily the ones in charge in the spiritual realm. They're also, there's demons maybe ahead of them. I mean, there's fallen angels that are ahead of them. So there's a lot of different things that are above those entities. Wow.
Brian, I'm going to have to rewatch this again and again to get my head around this.
There's so much, bro. If you want to know about demons, my movie Ancient Angels, I teach people about what the origins of demons and the Nephilim. And so, like, I have a movie, ancientangels.com. You can go there, and hopefully it'll be on Amazon Prime soon, but I've been struggling to get it on there. So just go to ancientangels.com, and it'll be on there.
All of your links are stick in the bio, but what's the easiest place for people to reach you?
YouTube is probably like the best thing right now that I'm focusing on, where I put out the most content, and like put out a video every week, every Saturday. And you can see me live talking about crazy topics. We talked about 9/11 last week, and things that you're not supposed to talk about. Like,
right? So, okay, cool. Stuff you're gonna get canceled over.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, the Lord lets me talk about it, so we talk about that, and then I'm trying to get on what's that called? Rumble more, and and X and YouTube and Instagram. I have different stuff on all my platforms. And TikTok, I'm pretty big. I'm really big on TikTok. But I don't post there on very much because I'm being monitored now. Every video I post is like flagged and taken down. Like, I'm like, great.
Yeah. It's gone a bit woke again, hasn't it? I've started to have that. Oh, well.
So annoying. But yeah. Anyways.
Dude, thank you so much.
Bro, thanks for having me on. And I went all over the place. I didn't really have a theme this time, but hey,
I appreciate it even more. It's very cool.
Pretty cool. Appreciate you for having me on, man.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our show. As you can see, our content can be a tad controversial at times. Because of that, the algorithm really doesn't like us. The good news is that's where you can. If you like us and you want to support us, the easiest ways are to like, comment, and subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us here at BluntClarity. On top of that, we've made a list of some of our favorite videos, which you can find right here. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Enjoy.